I'm here at Santa Maria Novella, the home of Brunelleschi's crucifix. This crucifix was made in 1410 by Brunelleschi. The reason that this crucifix is so famous is because of just how realistic it is. The realism of this crucifix has drawn people from all over the world to come to this church. Now, the crucifix is made of pear wood and has been beautifully preserved here. Now, you might be wondering how this started, and for that we have to go to a different church. And for the origin of the crucifix, we have to go here, to the Church of Santa Croce. Now, basically, the Church of Santa Croce needed a crucifix, so what they did was they hired Donatello to make them one. Donatello made the crucifix, and then eventually Brunelleschi walked in and saw Donatello's crucifix and said that it was very bad and that he could do it better. Donatello didn't believe him, and so Brunelleschi went home and eventually made one. Once he made it for the Church of Santa Maria Novella, as we saw earlier, and then he got Donatello and he showed it to him, and Donatello was completely stunned by just how realistic and amazing the crucifix truly was.
The old sacristy of San Lorenzo, located in Florence, Italy, is a remarkable architectural achievement that stands as a testament to the genius of Filippo Brunelleschi and the burgeoning Renaissance movement of the 15th century. Commissioned by the influential Medici family, particularly Giovanni di Bicci de' Medici, the sacristy was intended as a mausoleum for the family members. Brunelleschi's design for the old sacristy is characterized by its harmonious proportions, elegant simplicity, and innovative use of classical elements. The structure is square and plain, with a central dome rising above a low drum supported by 4 massive piers. This dome, a precursor to his later masterpiece, the dome of the Florence Cathedral, showcases Brunelleschi's engineering prowess and mastery of architectural form. One of the most striking features of the old sacristy is its use of classical architectural elements. Brunelleschi incorporated Corinthian pilasters, roundels, and coffered ceilings, drawing inspiration from ancient Roman and Byzantine precedents. This synthesis of classical motifs is with contemporary architectural principles marked by a departure from the prevailing Gothic style and heralded the dawn of the Renaissance. The interior of the old sacristy exudes a sense of tranquility and solemnness, achieved through careful attention to spatial proportions and the interplay of light and shadow. The central dome, with its oculus, filters natural light into the space, creating a serene atmosphere conducive to contemplation and prayer. The use of white plaster and gray stone further enhances the sense of purity and simplicity. Beyond this architectural significance, the old sacristy holds immense cultural and historical importance. As a part of the San Lorenzo complex, it served as a focal point for the Medici family's religious and political activities. Moreover, the sacristy functioned as a private chapel for the Medici, providing a space for personal reflection and worship away from the public eye. In addition, the old sacristy represents a turning point in the evolution of Renaissance architecture. Brunelleschi's innovative design principles, particularly his emphasis on geometric harmony and classical proportion, would influence generations of architects in Italy and beyond. The sacristy thus stands as a milestone in the development of architectural theory and practice, setting the stage for the monument achievements of the High Renaissance. In summary, the old sacristy of San Lorenzo is a masterpiece of Renaissance architecture, embodying Brunelleschi's visionary genius and cultural aspirations of the Medici family. Its importance lies not only in its aesthetic beauty, but also its roles as a symbolic and artistic innovation, cultural patronage, and architectural legacy.
So in 1401, a competition was held between the artists in Florence, and they were trying to look for the best artists to commission the second doors of the baptistry, which was the highest regarded building in Florence during the time and still is today. Only 2 of the entries ended up surviving until the end, which was one done by Filippino Brunelleschi and the other one done by Lorenzo Ghiberti. And the rivalry and extreme competition between the 2 artists not only showcased their artistic skills, but kind of worked to affirm their prestige within the community. Ghiberti's was chosen in preference to Brunelleschi's, and he was awarded the commission for the baptistry. So now we'll kind of go into the differences between the 2 pieces and why we think that his was chosen over Brunelleschi's. Brunelleschi took a really dramatic approach to his work, and we can observe when looking at it Abraham's tight grip on Isaac as he aggressively pulls his seemingly weightless head, while the angel is motioning onto Abraham's arm. Her thumb presses deep into his skin, which he does a really good job at creating this illusion in the sculpture. The facial expressions invoke raw and heavy emotions within the viewers, which is different in comparison because Ghiberti went for a more sincere and composed approach. The angel's face is depicted with a sense of divine calmness and is gently intervening to prevent the sacrifice. Despite the results of their competition, both sculptures offer us insight into the two brilliant minds and their astonishing understanding of anatomy, psychology, and religious context. It does leave a lot of the question of why one was chosen over the other and why they went with the more reserved one over the dramatic one, which I came up with that question too because this entire building is very dramatic, and you would wonder why they wouldn't go with the one that would invoke the most emotions from the viewers over a more modest approach. So in the story of the sacrifice of Isaac, God orders Abraham to kill one of his 12 sons, Isaac, and God desires to test Abraham's truest faith to him. Abraham refuses to disappoint God, so he takes his second eldest son to the top of a mountain and gets out a knife. Just as he's about to kill Isaac, an angel appears and stops him in his place. God provides a ram to sacrifice, and Isaac is spared. Abraham's willingness to sacrifice his son remains as a powerful testament of his faith in God, and Filippino Brunelleschi and Lorenzo Ghiberti have frozen the scene in stone, allowing us to visually conceptualize the great magnitudes of it.
Today I stand before you to marvel at a marvel itself, Brunelleschi's dome. This architectural masterpiece, nestled in the heart of Florence, is more than just a structure. It's a testament to human ingenuity and the brilliance of the Renaissance during Italy. Commissioned in 1418 to crown the Florence Cathedral, the dome became a crown jewel of Brunelleschi's illustrious career as an artist. For years, the cathedral's incomplete dome was a challenge for the city. However, through revolutionary design, technology, and mathematics, Brunelleschi turned adversity into triumph. Beyond its scientific and artistic significance, Brunelleschi's dome embodies the spirit of Florence, a city that is driven by ambition and excellence, especially since the Renaissance era. As the largest masonry dome ever constructed, it established Florence as a beacon of cultural and artistic and intellectual prowess. In addition, its completion marked a turning point in the history of architecture, inspiring generations of engineers and architects to come. Brunelleschi's dome isn't just a structure, it's a legacy, and it has shaped the world of architecture for centuries to come. Employing innovative construction techniques such as a double shell structure and a herringbone brick pattern, Brunelleschi defied convention, creating a dome of unprecedented size and magnificence. But it wasn't just about grandeur, it was about longevity and stability. Horizontal and vertical chains, as well as stone beams, evenly distributed the dome's weight, ensuring its endurance through the ages. Yet, Brunelleschi's dome is not a feat of science, rather a work of art. Ornamented with decorative motifs and geometric patterns, it reflects the aesthetic ideals of the Renaissance era. Step inside, and you're greeted with a vast expanse of beauty, where its dome's curvature inspires awe and contemplation for those who go inside. In conclusion, Brunelleschi's dome stands as a testament to the brilliance of its creator, Filippo Brunelleschi, and the spirit of innovation that defined its era. It represents the harmonious marriage of science and art during the era of Renaissance.
Hi, and welcome to Basilica San Lorenzo. In this discussion, we will be talking about the Cathedral of San Lorenzo, its beauty through unity and harmony. So, San Lorenzo was so especially cool because of its very, very proportionately accurate and perfect measurements of architecture. For example, we have its ratios, and in strictly whole numbers and irrational geometrical defined ratios are the series of proportions for the Cathedral of San Lorenzo. For example, the nave arcades are measured to have a relationship between the plinths and the columns by a perfect 1 to square root of 2. This is in perfect architectural harmony, and it's actually questioned if these exact measurements were done on purpose rather than intentionally. It was theorized that these proportions were so perfect and in harmony and in unity that these proportions were not intentional, were unintentional. Although we have some evidence through the designs, Brunelleschi's designs of the cathedral and the old sacristy, where both of these are carried out through perfection of completion. Now, let's go to Basilica San Lorenzo and talk a little bit more about the harmony of proportions. Hello, here we are at San Lorenzo by Filippo Brunelleschi, and through architectural points and measurements, we can see the harmony of divine numbers, especially with the number 3, which is shown all throughout Filippo's designs with the numbers and fractions of 1/3 and 2/3, etc., and many of the plinths and the columns and other architectural forms. Through this number 3, it is one of the most pleasing numbers to the eye, and also widely considered the most important number of nature.